Hello, my name is Leo Leal, and I will be speaking in part of the Mad Hatters on the topic of Mexican folk and fairy tales. Before Mexico was referred to as Mexico, it was previously known as the Pre-Hispanic era. This era carried out most of its history through telling oral tales and passing its history from generation to generation. There were many civilizations built and raised during this time. However, even before Europeans arrived, most of these mighty civilizations had fallen due to time, letting only oral tales and archaeological investigation be the bearer of its past greatness. However, some oral tales still remain, such as La Malgente, an Aztec oral tale, which is quite similar to present-time Mexico's La Llorona, which translates to the Weeping Woman in English. Both stories are about a ghost of a woman who commits suicide after drowning her two children in a fit of rage due to her unfaithful husband, and now roams the riverbanks in search of her long gone children. Most oral tales at the time of the pre Hispanic era were more spiritual based or helped explain how they thought the world worked. Their tales introduced different types of gods and spirits and showed how the gods and spirits played certain roles in the balance and management of their world. Although this era had already lost most of its past due to time, it lost even more when the Europeans came. Well, to be more specific, when the Spanish invaded and conquered Mesoamerica. When Spain invaded, they brought their religious beliefs with them and hoped to spread Christianity throughout Mesoamerica. They hoped to accomplish this by destroying all accounts of Mesoamerica's past history and culture and instead introducing their own beliefs through fairy tales that were widespread around Europe at the time. But they rewrote to carry a higher Christian influence. The Spanish left such an imprint on Mesoamerica that even after they left and became known as Mexico, a majority of more popular fairy and folk tales still carried strong signs of a more Catholic influence. Their old tales also incorporated proverbs and morals within them. Families would often share sayings and advices with each other. Most of the time, the stories have lessons from older generations and teaches children social norms and good conduct. Stories are often told in homes or in villages as entertainment or to pass time. Unfortunately, not many oral stories exist today.
Some examples include Blancaflor, which is a tale similar to Snow White. Blancaflor includes an envious queen that tries to have her own daughter, Blancaflor, murdered due to the queen's magic mirror telling her that her own daughter is more gorgeous than her. But thanks to the servant Juan, who was assigned to murder Blanca for the queen, let Blancaflor escape and run away. However, instead of meeting several dwarves, Blancaflor meets a band of robbers who steal from the rich and give to the poor. Later on, Blancaflor is put under a sleeping spell after wearing a golden necklace given to her by her mother, disguised as an old woman. The robbers then place her sleeping body within a crystal coffin and place it in a cave. This story includes influence of Roman Catholicism due to the fact that the prince, after finding her, has her placed in a chapel that he had personally built for her. Then, sometime later, the sexton, who likes to steal, removes the necklace from Blanca Flora's neck, and she awakes, and then falls in love with the prince, and they both live happily ever after. Also, as a twist, instead of having the cruel mother dance to death in red hot iron dance shoes, like in Snow White, Blancafleur's prince builds an army and conquers the evil queen's kingdom, which is a more realistic punishment to the queen than what happened in Snow White. Blancafleur is a prime example of what Mexican folktales represent. They are influenced heavily by the religion of Christianity due to the fact that the Spanish brought the religion and looked for ways to spread them. A very effective way was through folk tales, which would be passed down through generations. As a result, a majority of folk tales from Mexico include signs of religion. Religion is either included by name dropping the devil, God, or religious ideas. It is not uncommon to even include all three. Religion played a big role in Mexican folktales. It is very similar to Snow White of the Grimm brothers, and it seems to emphasize religion even more than the Grimms. And as a side note, Blanca Flor is directly translated to white flower in English, possibly because snow is very scarce in Mexico and because flowers are fairly popular as well.